now that I've potted up the other bonsais and I've gotten them onto the bench, the last thing to do is sort of prune this Carolina Reaper Bonchi. Um, this is 3 years old, as I mentioned before, and although it could survive quite happily with all of this growth over the winter, you're overwintering a plant and it's not in like the ideal conditions where it'll normally grow. So I'm cutting it back hard. Some of these branches will probably die, but I know there's fresh growth on some of them, and we'll get some fresh buds coming there. I certainly don't want to go into the winter time with flower buds like that. This is where I've already started to prune back, and we've got flower buds, we've got even fruits. I think there's actually a couple largish fruits for the size of the plant. Actually, I cut them off already. But yes, yeah, so you see clusters of flowers that have been pollinated. There's fruits on there. All of that needs to go. And now when I'm making my bonchis, I'm not looking for like the classic bonsai shape. I'm going for what some people might call a more naturalistic shape. And because you can't force the plant to establish a shape that it would naturally grow in. So I thought with this Carolina Reaper, it normally grows into a sort of bushy shape. And that, in bonsai terms, would probably be called like a broom style or something. So I'm just taking all of this growth back to a point where it reestablishes the shape of the tree. You can see there, that is a huge, that's what's called the internode, because there's a node here and there would have been a node further down. That internode is way too long for a bonsai. It doesn't allow for compact growth and really nice ramification. So all of that is going to be chopped back to a node where there is some fresh growth coming. So you can see that there's a bit of a bud developing on that point. So that's where I'm taking it back to. And yeah, I just go through this process of pruning it back and re-establishing the original size and shape that it was, because I'm not trying to get it to grow any bigger. And there's a risk with some of this because there's no guarantee that all of these buds will develop, but some of them will eventually become flush again. So, you know, for example, if you look at that branch over here, turn around, this branch, there's no growth along the edge there. And there's a risk if I cut this back, it will not bud, but c'est la vie, I'll take the risk. And with all of these, I'm just sort of pruning it back hard. I mean, I'm hoping in the springtime I'll be able to show you a nice Carolina Reaper Bonchi that this has developed into again, and it'll be 4 years old at that point. So I'm hoping that it doesn't fully die back, but you know, you never know with these things. And like, at the end of the day, this is all just a bit of fun. None of this is, you know, going to be sold or used for anything in particular, but you can see there I've got a nice triangular shape developing. You've got one sort of foliage pad here, another one there, and I'm going to keep this as probably a central leader in the middle. But having said that, there's so many flower buds, it's almost impossible to prune all of that back. So I might just take it all out and open up that canopy. You can see that there's some fresh growth in the middle there that should eventually go on to grow nicely. Take that back, take this back, and I'll take this back to there. So there you go. Significant pruning happened on this bonchi. You can see there for the amount of really gnarly and thick branching in there, it has been pruned over the last few years like this, and it has survived. So fingers crossed it does well again this time. So yeah, and nothing else is going to be done to this tree. It's going to sit on the bench, and if we've got space in the grow tent, we may just put it in the grow tent. But here's hoping it survives on the bench.